Morning, folks. Bear with me a second to make the Facebook feed live. As you know, Facebook restricts my audience and has done for a long time. But after arguing with them for a while, they give me the facility to make my videos public again, but I have to do it physically myself. I have to get into settings and change the videos to public. They did the same with Gordon Ross. Him and I both had huge Facebook audiences, but Facebook started restricting us both. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, we'll start to get Facebook comments coming through. And how are we all today? Before we get underway, of course, today is a public holiday in the Central Belt of Scotland. In fact, most of Scotland, I believe. So, Madam Director's clunking about in the background in case you hear her. Good morning, Melanie. You're the first of the Facebookers in this morning. Numbers are starting to climb. We'll wait to get a 50 mark. We'll get this underway because we're building a new audience for a new show. So, as I say, takes a wee while. People, now, some of the subjects that come up in the paper review today will appear and get much more in-depth analysis of them this afternoon on the Two Davies. Okay. But anyway, good morning, everybody. It's Indy Truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office with Madam Director parroting in the background, where it is overcast, 11 degrees, showers in the forecast. So that's the weather forecast for Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. You want to know what the weather's like with you? Look out your own bloody window and maybe leave me a wee comment, because I read the comments. I don't reply to many because it takes a lot of time, but I read them. So drop me a wee comment, let me know what the weather is like where you are. Okay, right, so let's go on the way. Alright, it's the 30th of the 9th, 2024. That's the wrong one, that's the Two Davies. I was writing that as well this morning. So let's get the right one up. Now I'm going to batter a good few of these headlines up, folks, okay? Show you the front pages. Now, let's get started. The rancid record goes on. Price hike triple whammy. So the Daily Record has price hike triple whammy. And what's this all about? It's the return of peak time rail fares, increase in minimum unit pricing for alcohol, and energy costs set to rise by 10% at the end of October. Right, now on the return of peak time fares, David and I will go into that a wee bit more this afternoon. It has to do with funding and subsidies, but as I say, we'll go more into that. Alcohol, minimum unit pricing of alcohol, HIP's going up by 30%. We'll talk about that this afternoon as well. And of course, there's nothing that can be done with the energy prices because that's controlled with Scotland. Energy is a reserve thing. But so the record's telling us that Scots are going to get whacked with triple hikes. So we'll go more into it. On the return of peak fares, it wasn't something we wanted today. It was because of, as I say, funding crisis created somewhere else. As we all know, West Street has told us all that when it comes to funding, all roads lead to Westminster. Minimum unit pricing going up. Well, that's quite interesting. We'll get to that when I put this headline up for the next one. And as I say, energy costs. It looks cynical. Labour seem to know what they're doing. They're allowing the regulator to stick energy prices up by 10% on the way into winter, and then they whack the pensioners. We'll get a wee bit more of that right now, because the next paper up is the loony rag, right-wing rag, The Express. Now they go on the same story as the rancid record, but they, here in Scotland that is, I'll put up the English one, the English headline, The Express as well, by the way. But, you know, they call them NAT hikes. Well, I'll put it up. Screen share, where are we? I'll put up the Express. Where am I going to find it? Here we go. Anyway, the Express. It runs with the story of Fearless Finley's conference debut, and that's the Tory party conference is underway, and the new Scottish leader of the branch office of the Conservative and Unionist Party in Scotland, Finlay, he's going to tell the conference that Scottish independence is dead. Anyway, but the Express main headline: Scots hit in triple whammy of woes. Scots face a triple whammy as the price of alcohol and rail fares soar thanks to the Nats. No, it's not thanks to the Nats at all. As we know, when it comes to funding, all roads lead to Westminster. All roads. Right, the Scotsman goes on. Academy shock and horror over claims of abuse in its historic past. Now, this comes as Edinburgh Academy reaches its 200th anniversary since its founding. Now, what's transpired there is what's transpired in a lot of institutions right across the UK, but here in Scotland we're having an inquiry into child abuse in institutions in Scotland, like private schools, council residential facilities for children in care, that sort of thing. You know, when it comes to the Edinburgh Academy, of course that hits the headlines because one of Scotland's famous TV characters, a guy called Nicky Campbell, attended that school, and he gave evidence to the inquiry. Anyway, apparently current day staff are absolutely horrified at what previous staff had done to students at the prestigious fee-paying academy. Okay, but as I say, the story's hit the press because it's the 200th anniversary of the founding of the prestigious Edinburgh Academy. All right, now the Herald goes on. Scottish University funding. Scottish universities funding fees and the future. Now this goes on a report into the future of universities here in Scotland. And what it says is that Scotland's universities are over-dependent on money from overseas students. But as we know, because of Westminster tinkering with the immigration legislation where it comes to students and their ability to work or bring parents with them and things like that, or family members with them, then of course the university sector right across the UK is going to get hit. We've seen similar reports come out for Oxford, Cambridge, and the whole of the English university system as well. And as I say, the tinkering with immigration means that there's going to be less overseas students being attracted to universities in the UK. Now, Scotland's got a very strong university sector where people get to stay longer here because our degree lasts a year longer. In England and Wales and Northern Ireland, their degree it takes 3 years. Here in Scotland, their degree it takes 4 years. And of course, international students want the prestige of that better degree. So we have a booming university sector, but of course, the idiots down the road, the racists and that, who have forced these changes to immigration law, may well damage the education sector, not just in Scotland, but in Wales and Northern Ireland and in England. The way it goes, and we will be talking about universities in England and Keir Starmer this afternoon, as well as 4 million quid for a hedge fund. But that's this afternoon. Let's move on. The Sun runs on another entertainment story. It would appear that the Sun stopped doing politics on their front page. Anyway, the Sun's running another entertainment story, and it's my Batgirl battle with Hollywood tearful victims justice fight. And apparently some woman who played Batgirl in the Hollywood movies has been short-changed by a couple of £100,000, and she is well peeved. So she's taken the production company to court. Right, where we go. the loony rag, the Daily Fail goes on. I'm going to put this one up actually. Where is the Fail? Let's get the Fail up. Here we go. For the first time, bang on. Here we go, the Fail. Here we go, Scott. Here's why I left my wife for my mistress. And Boris, Macron wanted punishment beaten on Britain over Brexit. And latest explosive extract from Bojo the Clown's a book on his time for office says that Macron weaponised putting immigrants in small boats and shoving them across the channel to England as a punishment for Brexit. And of course, there's the story of why he moved for his wife to his latest wife. And to be honest, who cares? But this is red meat to the racists. Blame the French. The French are doing it deliberately. They're shoving them into wee boats and sending them across deliberately. And they're taking their money and turning a blind eye so that the people smugglers can get on with it. Never heard so much bollocks in all your life, but hey ho. It would appear that the Daily Fail is going to be feeding the far right extracts of Boris's bollocks for a wee while to come. So that should be interesting. Not. Maybe I need to stop putting the Daily Fail up. Or stop talking about the Daily Fail. Right, the Times has. It really tanks that border as Lebanon braces for battle. I'm going to put this one up though, because there's another story in the Times here in Scotland which is interesting. So it is more interesting than the fact that the butcher who are there in Israel, that the butcher who are there in Israel is about to expand his war. Here we go, we'll go to it eventually. The Times. Now, Israeli tanks at border as Lebanon braces for battle. Invasion looms after airstrikes kill Hezbollah leader. US appeals for restraints on both sides, but the US isn't getting it because Netanyahu's out of hand and trying to protect his own skin. But the story here that interests me is the one at the top. Yousaf broke ministerial code to hasten families' Gaza escape. And this is Humza Yousaf has been accused of breaking the ministerial code after using his office to lobby the Foreign Office to put his mother and father-in-law on priority list for evacuation. But when you read into it, you get further down. And apparently cleverly phoned the First Minister to tell him that his wife's parents were on a priority list. Humza just phoned up to find out how they were going to get these people out. But hell, apparently he shouldn't have spoke to the Foreign Secretary about the situation whatsoever. So everybody, the relatives there, of course, they're talking to the Foreign Secretary, asking how they're going to get people out. But apparently, Humza wasn't supposed to. I'm surprised he go to speak to cleverly. Let's face it, ministers down that road regularly snub Scottish ministers. Regularly. But anyway, apparently he might have broke the ministerial code, so no doubt there'll be an inquiry, costing the public purse a fecking fortune, when any person in that situation would be phoning the Home Office to get information on how they were going to get people out. That, as I say, because he was in office, apparently he's a naughty boy. Okay, let's take that one down. And the Tory graph goes on. Badenoch sparks Tory split over maternity pay costs. Now, really, this is a who cares story. But apparently Badenoch and some other spanners which left in the Tory leadership campaign down that road, I haven't been paying that much attention. There's any point. As we come to a general election, maybe, if they manage to get their shit in gear, but it looks as if they might be going right with Badenoch. Anyway, she says it costs too much to give people maternity leave, and it should be means tested. I can see the direction of travel here. Funny enough, Richard Murphy pointed this out with the Labour Party. It would have been means testing as the way forward. And we will be talking about this afternoon. We'll talk about universities down that road. And another one of Keir Starmer's broken pledges. So, apparently there's a big fight in the Tory party on maternity leave costs. But hey, who cares? They can't do nothing about it at this point in time. They're not in office. What they're doing is trying to get support of the rump of the Tory party that's left. Right, the National goes on. Scotland already fed up with Starmer. They get a good picture in the front of the National. I'll put it all. There we go. Scotland already fed up with Starmer. SNP take aim at approval rating plunges again. The SNP can take aim at whatever they fucking want. Unless their approval rating goes up, it doesn't matter. As I say, what's absolutely true here is, in that headline, is that the people here in Scotland are fed up already. They're very angry. And they, like most, right across these islands, realise that they've been duped by this guy. And he's just a stuffed shirt. Another establishment stooge, handpicked by the establishment and the financial sector to maintain the status quo. So, the people are pissed. The people in England are pissed. The people in Scotland are pissed. The people in Wales are pissed. People in Northern Ireland are right pissed off. So, there you go. How long is he going to stay in office? Sweepstake starts. Put your guesses in the comments. According to Demo, at Demo Rants, something big's going to break this week that's going to see him out of office. Well, we'll see what happens. A week's a long time in politics, as we know. Okay. So, the eye goes on. Israel targets terrorist weapons network in Yemen after wiping out Hezbollah leader. I'll put that one up. This is the story that they read. Apparently, Iran's got a network, a sort of transport route into other places via Yemen for supplying arms to what's being called terrorist groups. In some cases, if you take Hezbollah, like it's been taken off a terrorist group by the Arab Council and things like that, so it's just a militia now. And then, of course, you get the Houthis in Yemen, which are a militia as well. You know, and they're being supplied allegedly from Iran. I'll tell you what, folks, when it comes to dealing arms, the biggest arms dealers in the world are the Iran. And you can bet your boots that money's money. And there'll be Western arms suppliers willing to sell these people weapons. Willing to sell them weapons, as long as the price is right. Rumours down that road that Starmer's just reserved a place on the naughty step, is he? Right, anyway, as I say, I'll stick it up because, you know, there's a lot of fear in this. Because it looks like there is going to be escalation in the Middle East. It really does. I think it's happening. Well, that's a King's speech. We'll get that this afternoon. I did have it there somewhere. Here we go. Israel targets Iranian weapons network in Yemen after wiping out Hezbollah leader. Israel widens attacks on regional enemies with airstrikes on the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, hitting missile launchers, seaports and weapon supply route, according to the Israeli Defence Force. More than 100 new strikes carried out inside Lebanon amid reports that 7 senior leaders are thought to have been wiped out. 7 senior members or leaders of the militant group died in a wave of Beirut attacks that killed leader Hassan Nasrallah, and Israel military continues preparation for possible ground invasion with troops and tanks gathered at the Lebanese border. There's nothing going to stop this fucking maniac. Nothing. No amount of deaths, no amount of bloodshed. You're at the naughty step, Neil. You're not sitting next to that twat Starmer. I didn't know you were on the naughty step. So, I see in a comment, and you can't, Michael, you can't dodge a bullet, can you? Unless you're Donald Trump. Of course, you can dodge a bullet, all right, mate. Don't worry about that. Many a soldier can testify to that bloody bullet. Right, the metro goes on. It's really onslaught. And fight cereal drink drive epidemic. Now, apparently, the UK is in the grip, according to the Metro, in the grip of a drink drive epidemic. 25,000 UK citizens have been banned twice, apparently recently. And 300 motorists have actually been banned 3 times. Banned 4 times for drunk driving. The bans must have been guys short. I thought it was once you get a ban and the second time it's strike, you're out. Or it bloody well should be. Maybe they need to lobby them to change that. Anyway, apparently the worst offenders, the serial drink drivers, some of them have been done up to 7 times. 7 times! And they're giving them temporary bans. As I say, second time you get in the motor drunk and get caught, that should be the end of it. Driving's a fucking serious business. A serious business. Once you put your ass out, a van, a lorry, a bus, you're driving a fucking death machine. You're driving an offensive weapon. A potential offensive weapon. So anybody that's going to get into one of these vehicles drunk. So anyway, it's increased the calls for on-board breathalyzers in cars. Basically, if you don't, you got to blow on a tube before your engine will start up. So I can't see that working. Because you just grab some wee kid off the street if you're drunk and give him a fiver to blow on the tube for you. Actually, Stephen, what we find with drunk drivers, as I said, they tend to be between 30 and 45. Maybe they're using UK to mean England. I can only tell you what it says in the rags, mate. I only tell you what it says in the rags. Right. They started there, unfortunately. Couldn't they find a copy of its front page? Wasn't they up? And when I went to the Star's website, I could get the headline, I couldn't get the page. And generally, the funnies on the page for the Star. Well, there's nothing better than the Star. For a laugh, but no laugh a day. So we'll be back this afternoon where we're going to get into some of these topics here in Scotland and more in depth. As I say, I'm writing it at the moment. And we'll talk about the possible exit of the sleazy and potentially corrupt Starmer and his broken pledges. See, another section, a broken pledge to another section of the population. But that'll all need to wait to this afternoon, folks. So, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it informative. And we're back again at 4 PM with the other Davey to go into some of these subjects in much more in-depth analysis. Okay, so I am. So we'll see you this afternoon. Look after each other. And as I say, it's a public holiday here in Scotland. Today, tomorrow, Davey will be sending money out to the food banks on your behalf. and with our thanks to you all. Have a nice day. See you this afternoon.